Hi guys, Irina here and welcome back to my channel where I review everything tech. In today's video, let's open the box with the brand new Xiaomi 12T. Let's go over the key tech specs and talk about the camera setup of this phone. So let's get straight to the unboxing. So, in the envelope, we get a SIM tool, some papers with a warranty card, a quick start guide and safety information, a clear case, which is always nice to have, especially for those first days with a new phone before you buy another case. The Xiaomi 12T itself, and this unit is in black. Then we get a 120-watt charger and a USB-A to USB-C cable. Speaking of design, the back of this phone is matte and I personally love it. At the same time, as you can see, there is this beautiful reflection when you change the angle of the phone. The Xiaomi 12T comes in three finishes: black, blue and silver. When it comes to dimensions, this is a pretty big phone. It's very close to the iPhone 14 Pro Max and the Galaxy S22 Ultra in terms of size. There is a 6.67-inch AMOLED dot display with up to 120 Hz refresh rate and with a peak brightness of 900 nits. Speaking of security features, we get a face unlock and a fingerprint unlock. This phone runs on MediaTek Dimensity 8100 Ultra. It has 8 GB of RAM with 128 or 256 GB option. And speaking of battery, there is a 5000 mAh battery on the Xiaomi 12T. Now let's talk about the camera setup. We have a triple camera on the Xiaomi 12T, including the 108-megapixel main camera, an 8-megapixel ultra-wide camera, and a 2-megapixel macro camera. And switching to the front, we have a 20-megapixel selfie camera. So let's open the camera app and see what this phone offers. And let's start from the beginning. Here we have the Pro mode, where you can manually change all the settings such as the white balance, ISO, focus, and so on. On this top panel you get the metering modes. Then you could change some parameters like saturation, contrast, and sharpness. Then you can enable 108 megapixel resolution, use some filters, and here you get some extra features where you could get some help with focus and correct exposure, switch to RAW format, and so on. Next, switching to documents, and you're probably already familiar with this mode where you could scan documents, very helpful. Switching to the video mode, and as you can see, you can take up to 4K videos. You can enable the macro mode and take macro videos, but the resolution will be limited to 720p. You get the steady video mode and record videos in 1080p 30 frames per second. You have quick access to some zoom options here, but keep in mind that for the ultra-wide camera, the resolution will be limited to 1080p 30 frames per second. In the photo mode, as you can see, we also get quick access to some zoom options, including the ultra-wide and 2x zoom. We get the macro mode and tilt shift mode, which is usually pretty good for some city-style photos. And there is a quick access to Google Lens, which often comes in handy. Switching to the portrait mode, and of course you could adjust the aperture, making the bokeh look more or less pronounced. Also, there are some filters and beautifying features. Then we have the night mode, which comes in handy when you take photos in low light. By the way, you could take night selfies as well. And switching to more, we get to more creative modes like slow motion, time-lapse, long exposure, dual video, and clone, which are pretty cool to have, but at the same time, they're not new. We've already seen all of these modes on the previous Xiaomi models. By the way, keep in mind that you could always change the layout of these camera modes. You could remove or add some modes to the main panel. And let's move on, and I'll show you some photo and video samples I've taken with the Xiaomi 12T. And now let's test the sound quality and the video quality of the front camera on this phone. So, what do you think, guys? That's all for this video, guys. Stay tuned for my in-depth review of the Xiaomi 12T. Also, let me know if you have any questions about this phone, so I'll cover them in my upcoming video. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next video.